Welcome again my YouTube channel. The three wishes. A poor woodcutter went to the forest to cut wood. He was about to cut an oak tree when a fairy appeared and begged him to spare the tree. The woodcutter was a kind man and did not cut the tree, and the grateful fairy granted him three wishes. When he reached home, he was angry. He remembered the fairy and wished for black funding. At once he saw a bowl of the finest black pudding in front of him. The woodcutter told his wife about the fairy, but she did not believe him. To test her husband's words, she wished that the pudding would stick on her husband's nose. Suddenly, the pudding stuck on his nose. They tried hard to pull it off, but it stuck hard. The woodcutter used his last wish and wished for the pudding to come out. The pudding came off and lay on a dish so throws they had the finest pudding for dinner. They had used up all their wishes. The next story, the ugly duckling. A little duckling was very sad because he thought he was the ugliest among us. All his brothers and sisters they would not play with him and tease the poor ugly duckling. One day he saw his reflections in waters and cried, "Nobody likes me, I am so ugly." He decided to leave home and went for away into the woods. Deep in the forest he saw a cottage in which there lived an old woman, her hen and her cat. The duckling stayed with them for some time, but he was unhappy there and soon left. When winter set in, the poor duckling almost froze to death. A peasant took him home to his wife and children. The poor duckling was terrified of the children and escaped. The ugly duckling spent the winter in a marshy pond. Finally, spring arrived. One day, the duckling saw a beautiful swan swimming in the pond and fell in love with her. But then he remembered how everyone's made fun of him and he bent his head down in shame. When he saw his own reflections in the water, he was astonished. He was not an ugly duckling anymore, but a handsome young swan. Now he knew why he had looked so different from his brothers and sister. They were duckling, but I was a baby swan, he said to himself. He married the beautiful swan and lived happily ever after. Thank you for watching my